Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We have, her eyes got kind of bulgy there. We've got an animation to go through. We've got a handful of stills to go through here, and we'll kick things off with Brenda. So, Brenda, let's talk through if you're able to share your voice. What's updated? What's new? What do we got going on here?
So I don't remember.
I made it more better. Yeah.
Yeah, I changed the rim light on when she's like at the middle section to make it like a full rim all the way. I desaturated a little bit the ceiling of there.
Oh yes,
There was a little spot over there. Yeah, and I also added a little bit of light below the mountain. And I saturated the greens on the grass over here.
Cool. Yeah, that all looks a lot better. The one thing that I think, so she's got some nice rim lights in here. They might be a little bit too intense. I would pull them back a little bit. And then the other area is these trees up here, because they start to. It might just be the low res. In fact, let's hop over into the stills here. Let's see what we got. No, I guess those are working out okay. I think really it would just be like because I really want to feel that sun back behind them a little bit stronger, to kind of match the light level that she's getting, a little bit. So I really want it like a little bit brighter, and if they can get, because I think the translucency is working well. Maybe even just like a little bit of rim, but they're pretty small, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get much of anything. But just a little bit more light and maybe a little more shaping on these trees back in here, I think would be really beneficial.
Okay.
In terms of the rest of it, I think it's looking really good. This is nice bounce you're getting up on her face here. I think that looks really cool. That surprised me when I was going through. I was like, ooh, that's nice. And then this looks really good. If there's any way to get this light, because it's kind of like zeroed in a little bit on his forehead, if we could just like shift that down just a little bit so it frames up around his eyes a little bit more. I know that's a really nitpicky one, but
no, I'll check it.
Yeah.
I think I can do it. Okay.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this? I think this looks really good. I just kind of want to see it. I think we're close to being able to render this out full res and then just make some comp tweaks, I think.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
You made this whole process, you made lighting a shot like this look very easy. Because it's like a shot with a lighting transition that we call these traveling shots, where they don't just, we have like traveling sequences where a bunch of shots of like characters are running and the camera's just chasing them. But like, because and anyone on this call knows that when you light a character or an environment to look good from one angle, the second that camera starts moving, it's like, it's like things get a little dicey. But you've managed to build a scene and a lighting rig that works well from here all the way to here, which is really, really impressive. So it's a really great job. If there's any way, maybe like a little ambient occlusion in here too would be good. I don't know if you have any, but maybe try running it on this building, because I think that might help.
Okay, cool.
Great. All right, cool. All right, so let's hop over into, we got Kat up next. So Kat, we had actually everybody today. We've got just some minor notes going across the board. So Kat, we were looking at, we were looking at the brightness around the character's face. So this is kind of zeroed in just on that. So we've got 1, and you talked about increasing 2, 3, and 4. So 4 was like the brightest possible. Like this was what I suggested yesterday, which is go brighter than you think is even possible. So I think it's I'm actually leaning towards the top level ones. But the one thing about once we get really bright is that it starts to flatten it out. So I would almost take that light that's on the character and kind of, it doesn't really matter which way you go, but just like push it one way or the other a little bit, to the right or to the left, just to get a little more shaping. And then the other thing that I did, and I just kind of mocked this up, was I took this brighter one and I just desaturated it a little bit, because like once you get brighter, like the reds really start to kind of haze out. So I just desaturated it and then added a little contrast in the darks too. But I think that I think that's pretty much it. So just a little more shaping, in the light's direction, a little less saturation in the color, and then use one of those brighter intensities. Now, one of the things,
I had a feeling too when I was making this. I'm like, he's gonna want to see it brighter, so I'm like, I'm just gonna crank it to like 4,000.
Yeah, you know my style, man. So the one thing you have to watch out for is that the fact that we're now kind of seeing it on the background a little bit. So you may just need to soften if you just soften the edge of the spotlight, it's less noticeable.
Yep. Cool. No
Great.
problem.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Great job with that. That's so so helpful. All right, and then we've got everybody online today. We've got Kelvin and Mindy here as well. So Kelvin, so some minor tweaks here. How are you feeling? Is this are you anything else you want to update?
No, if nobody else has notes, then I'm pretty happy with where it is. I noticed Forrest had said yesterday maybe to just soften the edges of the white displacement in Photoshop. I'm not sure what about that. I'm not sure.
I think it's not a. I mean, that's more of a. Because I don't. That's less of it being right and wrong, and more about it being like your personal preference as the creator, right? Like, do you want it to be more of a hard edge, or do you want it to be more of a softer like transition between the two? It's like at that point, it's just about what look you're trying to create. Because I think either is successful. I think it's a good. It's just a good thing to consider, you know. But from my standpoint, and I'll shut up for a second to see if anybody else has any notes. Okay. From my standpoint, I think it looks great, and I'm ready to clap for it. So it's up to you. If I start banging my hands together.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with where it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. All right, you guys ready to unmute yourself and give Kelvin a little round of applause because he deserves it on this one. All right. Woo! All right, good job, man. This looks so good. Really, really, really great stuff. I love the addition of the dust particles really helped too. I was like I had a kind of a ooh moment when those first popped up.
Yeah.
So I'd love to add this to the Hall of Fame with the other Mushroom Girl, but if you're done with it, I'm glad. I'll be proud to upload this one. But if you want to make some changes, if there's still things you want to tweak, let me know and I can hold off. It's up to you.
I'm just trying to think. He said blur the edges of the. I think he said blur the edges of the white displacement. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if. I'm just trying to think what it is on that. It would be nice if he was available today. Obviously he's busy, but
so basically, yeah. So basically, what it would be like imagine, let's say you've got your let's say this is your height map, and this is going to be a crude example of this, but so like if you had these white shapes as the as that, basically what he's saying is to just like find a way to blur those edges down a little bit more, and by doing so it'll just ramp the transition as opposed to making it like a harder so the more that this is ramped, because the height or the displacement or the bump moves at whatever the pixel value is. So if the pixels, like if you have a bunch of pixels in a row and they're like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, it'll go like that. But if you have this like ramp, it'll just like slowly transition it in.
The only thing about that is that it would cause the red part of the cap to also lift up, and I mentioned that. And I don't think that they really do that, but
I think it's okay, because that's what I said, is that we talked about this a little bit, and you were like looking at references is what it does, and I'm like cool, and because to me it's not something that stood out to me as being odd or unique. It just seemed like the style of what you were doing, and so for that, that's why it's like that becomes a little bit subjective in what you want to do with your image,
Yeah. So I think that I might just leave it, just because I've also sort of moved away from the ref.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Okay, great. We'll leave this as is. I will upload this to the Hall of Fame, and you can go buy yourself a cocktail this weekend or something. All right, cool. All right, and so we are in a similar situation with Mindy's. Mindy, are you here?
Hello.
Hi. So updated the wood or the roof tiles.
Yeah.
And made the glass a little more transparent. Correct?
Yeah, and I added a little light bulb inside.
Oh yeah, look at that little guy. Hi there. Perfect.
Just because it was like so transparent, it kind of looked weird that it was empty.
Yeah. No, that's great. By the way, that's the only thing that gives it a time period, because it's like, oh, there's electricity now. Cool.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No, it's fine. I don't think some of these I don't know if they had crates back in the day, or I don't know what things are. I think this looks great. Again, I will shut my mouth for a second to see if anybody has any notes. I realize that by saying that it looks great, I'm biasing the audience a little bit, but I think I would say we can unmute ourselves and give Mindy a round of applause, and I would love to add this to the Hall of Fame as well. You good?
Okay, yeah.
Are you happy? You feeling good?
I'm
Are you done
happy
with
with
it?
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, everyone clap. Yay! All right. All right, guys. That was a happy little Friday critique we've got going on. Everyone's so close. Yes, did I miss one?
I actually have two.
You jerk. What did you do?
No, I was
How
waiting to ruin.
dare you? You just waiting in the wings to ruin some stuff. Let's see what we got. Oh yes. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's take a look at this.
So I don't know how to do. I tried to do this comp I did the comp in Nuke,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how to figure out how to get, like, for example, the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
They keep like this. She's on top of the other robot. I don't know how to deal with that. But the last time you asked me to put more light in both characters,
Mm-hmm.
I fixed the top of her head.
Yeah.
Which is too light skin.
Mm-hmm.
More dramatic light when she crouches down,
Mm-hmm.
and more shape also when she crouches down. Those were the changes.
Cool. So in terms of the we'll start with the lighting. I think the lighting looks great. The only time that I have is when she's really close to the ground here. Let's see if I can step through. When she pops her head up, it's a little bit super bright in there.
Okay.
But that's and again and also, like, I would work on doing a passive, getting her diffuse light a little bit less and her spec light a little bit more, especially here at the end. Like, I think her value is really good. It's just that it's a little bit too diffuse, and I really want to play up that specular under darker skin tones. For the layering, there's two ways that you can handle it. So, and this is like a philosophical thing. So, the way that I learned early on is that whenever you have characters that come into contact with each other, either, shaking hands or kicking, or, like the way that these guys fight, to render all of them in the ssame layer, so that you can avoid some of this. The other thing is you could just because there are times that, let's see, like if you rendered her separate from this guy, like there's a moment here where her foot contacts his body, and I don't know if it does it, but like there's a point where she's over top of him and maybe his body wraps around, so he's both over and under her.
Yeah.
So the ways that you can handle it are, one, you could just render them all together as the character pass and have all the characters together. You could render them. Another common thing would be to, like, if you have the robots in one layer and her in another, is there's a every rendering software, and I always forget the names of what they call them. There's like an alpha cutout shader that you can put on, like this guy would be turned off, but you could put, the primary visibility would be turned off, but you could put actually no, in that case the primary visibility would need to be on, but you'd put a shader on the character that would completely make them not affected by lighting, but would cut their alpha out of the main character. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that too. But it's up to you. I mean, for something like this, with the way that crypto mats are, I would render the characters together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then just render the background separately, and then you can do some crypto matting to isolate the characters if you need to do color tweaks or little things like that. So, yeah. I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? It's a nice like because there's like these huge panels of lights on the floor and ceiling. It's just like a nice, very very soft like high tech feeling. All right, let's talk about this one. So we haven't seen this before, have we?
No, this is the first time. Yeah. This is the one that gave me a month and a half of headaches.
Right. Oh, yes, where I saw it because you sent a technical issue with this one. Oh, that looks better. Man, I got a cut. It's throwing me off. I got a cousin that looks just like this guy. That's so weird.
I'm still having trouble with materials on the second part of the scene when he's like his shirt, her shirt, and the table are the materials are not shown.
Yeah.
I need to figure that out.
That's so interesting. So his shirt just goes like black.
Yeah, and hers also.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And the table just goes white, and also the window frame just goes white.
That's really odd. Huh. Wait, is this all the same file? Or
No,
these are two different ones. Okay. Huh. It's so strange. Yeah, I mean, if you give it this weekend, and if you can't figure it out, send it over to me, and I can take a look next week at it, try and figure out what the hell's going on there. Or posting it would probably be better. You guys are smarter than me with this stuff. Some little things. Other than the technical issues, like the subsurface on his ear is great. It's just really strong.
Okay.
It's a little too like blood red. I love the key light position's really great. Like I love this amount of wrap on him, and I love like how it's kind of silhouetting her a little bit. It would be great if it like there was a little bit of indication of more light from the window or something on the back wall here. It's just like from the refrigerator all the way over, it starts to flatten out a little bit, or just something to kind of break up that value a little bit more back there.
Okay.
Like I would put like a little splotch of like, you know, make it not as bright as this, but like a little splotch from like a window over there or something. Because like, do you see it, like the way that this light hits here? It makes these bottles so much more interesting, and this crate so much more interesting. It would be great if like these cups and towels and bottle over there got something good like that going. Yeah, there's something even wacky going on with this wall. The way, because the wall looks pretty similar in tone, like all across it. Like you'd expect it to be like brighter a little bit around the window, I guess. But you know, because like it would get some refracted light off of this and off of like the areas where the sun is hitting the ground. It's interesting. I'm also wondering if there isn't, because there's a lot of light bouncing in through the windows. There's a lot of light coming in through the windows, right? And you can see it on her face and on his body and on the table. Like I know the table's white, but like that's a lot of light. But then when you look at like this shot, I feel like it's still pretty dark in there. Like I just want more bounce light from all this light coming in through the window.
Okay.
Her hard edge is freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah. It looks terrible. I fixed it already, but then I had rendered it already, and I wanted.
Just her collarbone gives me the heebie-jeebies. And then there is this might be another thing. There's just like some horizontal line across here. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Just checking it out. Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Yeah, I think it's looking good for now. I think that the big thing now is just to get those technical issues tackled so that we can keep going with it. I would you don't have to do this now, but both the characters, their tongues are very gray, and because like this is a big dialogue shot, you just want to pinkify those a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's because I didn't put any material on the tongue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to forget about the tongue.
Just realize that.
Yeah, animators lose their mind if their tongue isn't pink enough. They love they love a fleshy tongue.
Okay, like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Great. All right. So then at that point we will break for the weekend. Andre, thank you. You know I was just teasing before. You're great. All right.
I know.
All right. Be good, everybody, and I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Happy lighting, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.